let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go, 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 go.
Fits.
It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. We are here to remind you that championship teams are built on consistency, and so is Willis Automotive. That's why they power the Rush Radio Show from sales to service. They show up every day ready to deliver. Before your next big purchase, do your homework at willisauto.com. Willis Automotive, driving the show, driving your next ride. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube, good morning, everybody. And go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like the video, leave your comments in the comment section. And, of course, follow us on our social media channels. Good morning, Ross Peterson. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Not much. Getting some hot stove stuff this morning. Seeing some baseball news. That's kind of fun. I know we're going to probably start with two good basketball games. Well, 2 basketball wins last night. Let's not call those 2 good basketball games, but two wins. But anyway, just saw some baseball stuff floating around, so it's warming me up a little bit.
Well, they did announce the new Hall of Famers last night.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah,
Didn't knock my socks off.
I just saw news that did knock my socks off. Can I share it with you real quick?
Absolutely.
This is literally the headline. Mookie Betts announces retirement. Mookie Betts confirms that he plans to retire at the end of the 2032 season. I was like, what? Mookie Betts is retiring? He's got years left. Yeah, it turns out 6. He knows exactly how many years he's got left.
I've planned my end date. This is what I'm doing. This is like, didn't Dan Patrick do that a couple of years ago? Remember, like Dan Patrick, I'm on a 5-year retirement tour.
Oh, I thought he was done. Is he not done? Dude, I don't know. Sorry.
I don't know, but I remember, I know he gave himself like a long runway. I don't know if it was like a year, 2 or 3, but it was like, okay, I'm announcing my retirement, and it's going to be at the end of like Super Bowl, and I don't know if it's this year or if it's next year, because I don't listen to Dan Patrick that much, but it's like, okay, Ross, I'm announcing my retirement. I was born in 1970, so I'm going to retire when I die. That's when I retire.
Exactly right.
When I die is when I retire.
Yeah. That was the news that knocked my socks off this morning. I was like, Mookie Betts retiring? Wow. Yeah, he told John Cena on the Roku miniseries, What Drives You with John Cena. Well, listen, I'm not a pro wrestling guy. I like John Cena. He seems like a really, really good dude, man.
Yeah, I don't have feelings one way or another. But yeah,
I think he seems very self-deprecating, and like it just seems like he gets what role he can serve in the world. I like Cena. I've never watched this show though.
I would have to go back and watch the podcast or the Roku show, because it could be one of those things. Hey, how long are we going to play? You know, I'm going to go through 2032. I mean, is it saying I'm going to retire at 2032?
No, dude, he lays it out. He says, when my contract ends in 2032, I'm going to be 40 years old. My little girl will be 14. My son will be 10. My parents were always there, and I want to do the same thing for my kids.
And you know what? At age 40, you can hang up the cleats and say, I'm done playing baseball, because otherwise you're just going to be, one of those guys that goes in and, okay, he's 40 years old. What can he really do? So that makes sense. I mean, playing baseball till you're 40, that's every boy's dream.
Congratulations. I'm really good at it. Couple World Series rings. Might have a dozen by the time he leaves.
But if you want to know the definition of clickbait, that headline is clickbait.
Wow, but that, again, got me, so...
Well, because the headline didn't finish it. Like in 2032, they made you go into the story because you're like, what? Mookie Betts retires.
The MLB article is Mookie confirms 2032 season will be his last. The link that I saw was Mookie Betts announces retirement.
And guess which one probably got more clicks?
Yeah, right. That's what
Okay, we're gonna A/B test these headlines and see what does better.
The one's an aggregator, but I'm okay with it. It was fun.
If you could announce your retirement, would you? Because I'm dead serious when I say I don't want to retire.
I'm with you. I don't really want to retire. I like what I do. I really, really like what I do. Not
Ross
just
is
this,
75 saying, "Call me so I can sell your house."
Maybe. I've seen I've worked with agents that are up there in that age, and that's fine. You can keep doing it. Yeah, whatever. How was your let's see, today's
Wednesday.
Wednesday. How was your Tuesday?
We're really busy at work right now, so I've been in meetings all day. I've been staying late at work. But been busy, and then got home last night. I walked in the house about 5:50, and my wife is like, "Hello, I made myself some chicken salad, right? Went and got some chicken breast and canned chicken breast, and then loaded up with mayo and mustard." And I go, "I'll see you later." She goes, like, "Where are you going? Are you going to talk to me?" I go, "Cyclones are playing. If you want to talk to me, come in here and watch the game with me." You think I saw my wife? Do you think I saw my wife?
Well, you got to see the Cyclones get right? You got that's.
Well, yesterday I said, hey, they need to play with a purpose. They played with a purpose. And if you want to know how Iowa State goes, which didn't happen against Kansas, didn't happen at Cincinnati, it's all with the defense. It is all just on the ball, forcing turnovers. They had 11 steals, I believe, in the first half, Ross. 13 total turnovers forced in the first half. Went on to force 19 turnovers in the game against Central Florida. This stat blows me away. Outscoring Central Florida in points off turnovers 31-5. So it starts with defense, man. I mean, they got it back last night, and they played with a purpose.
What a line from Jefferson.
Oh, his second triple-double of the year.
Has a triple-double with no turnovers. What did you say 19-5 was the turnover?
Yeah, turnover was 19-5. So Iowa State only had 5 turnovers. Central Florida had 19, and then the points off turnovers 31-5.
Yeah, that's what you needed to see. That's what that was fun. That's the Iowa State team that you look at and go, oh yeah, elite. Yep, one of the best teams in the country, playing on both sides of the ball. And you have to look at this last week as, okay, it's winter, probably some health issues that we don't know about, or there are some health issues that people, there's some things are going on. Got through it. Here we go. Now this is the team. They're back.
I think I don't know if they were ever gone. I think they just got derailed, right? And I think some people thought, you're being Iowa State apologist. No, you look at the first 16 games they won without losing, and that's the team that was consistent. You get derailed a little bit. You have to take a little pit stop. It happens to college basketball teams. And what do we have? Like 3 undefeated teams left in the country: Arizona, Nebraska. There might be one more. I mean, going unbeaten in college basketball is a rare feat. We haven't seen a fully undefeated season since 1976 when Indiana did it. So it's not like, and that's why I said earlier in the year, Iowa State's going to lose. Now, did I expect them to lose at Cincinnati and play as bad as they did? No, but it's how you recover
Kansas
from
one
those
is nothing.
losses.
The Cincinnati one is the one that you go, oh, we got something. Nothing's wrong, right?
Yeah.
You win the next game, you go, okay, good, nothing's wrong. Good, nothing's wrong. Did you just say you thought there were 2 undefeated teams or 3?
Well, I didn't know if there's 3, and I know Vanderbilt lost last week. So is it just Arizona and Nebraska now?
That's it.
Arizona, and think about this. We are more than midway through the college basketball season. Arizona, I can buy. We're saying Nebraska is one of the undefeated teams left in college hoops. Crazy times we live in.
Another line from last night that I didn't realize until pulled up the box score this morning. Look at Lipsy. Because a lot of times we say things like, as this person goes, so, and we've said with Iowa State, the beautiful part about Iowa State right now is you've got a lot of guys that can carry water there on both sides of the ball.
Pick your poison.
Lipsy had 5 points last night.
5 points, but he had 6 assists, just 2 turnovers.
How many steals?
He had 5 steals.
5 steals last night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't need him to fill it up when you're playing like that. 30 minutes, I think I saw on the box score, right?
30 minutes and where'd it go? 29 minutes, 33 seconds. So 30 minutes. Yeah.
Man, yours breaks down into seconds for.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's Higgins give you like the secret?
No,
secret
I go online and I print off the official NCAA box score.
Look at me.
And then I got a printer and I print it. And I have paperwork at my fingertips. It's my research, Ross. It's my research.
I just click on tabs. I got a Mac.
That's another. Well, you could find this. It's pretty.
I like that.
It's up there.
That breaks it down that far. That's cool.
Well, what I have to do to save paper is they'll also put up, like, Iowa State doesn't do it. They do the 1-page box score. Iowa posts like the whole thing, so it's got box score, first half total run, like where every basket was scored, halftime stats, and then second half. I don't need 10 pages worth of stuff. I just need the one the coaches walk in. You ever know coaches always walk in on a news conference and they've got this in their hand, and they always go to rebounds. And Iowa State out-rebounded UCF yesterday 38-32.
Travis, it's been a while since I've been at a head table at Drake or the Iowa Wolves or one of those. Now, the last time I did call a game for the Wolves last year. At the beginning of the season last year, I called a game for the Wolves, and they still did the thing where every time there's a stoppage, they bring a box score. They bring you a paper box score. Did you were a part of that, I'm sure, right?
For years? when I did play-by-play for Creighton, it wasn't every stoppage, it was every media timeout. So it was at the timeouts. But then towards the end, we just had our own computer screen there. So
that's
we had
what I was wondering if a lot of people have just transitioned to that, where you've just got the live stats right there in front of you anyway.
Yeah, because the environmentalists should be out going, "You're killing too many trees with that with that paper." But it's just the computer screen's nice when you're doing a game and if you're sitting at the table, just because it's real time, so you can look over and just see what they were.
When you were calling games, did you keep a box score as well?
I did not keep my own box score as far as points go, but now I had a sheet with talking points about every player, where they're from, kind of what they average and stuff like that. Now, let me back up. If there was a screen there, I didn't do it. If there wasn't one, I would do my best to do that.
Yeah, I did too. I had a little system I had for writing down the points next to the name.
Yeah.
And then circles for the free throws, so you could know what, if the guy was 1 of 5 from the free throw line as he was going to the line at the end of the night or something. So yeah, I had a nice little system.
I always worried about doing that because, in the heat of action, say you get a wild fury that you'd forget to write something down, and then you'd give stats and you'd be, correction.
Yeah, absolutely did that. Yeah, get the final box score and go, I was wrong on some stuff. Good win. So good win. Nice dominant win. That's exactly what Iowa State needed.
And it was all defense. I mean, we mentioned the 19 turnovers, but I think this stat is huge. They held UCF to 36.8% shooting from the field. I mean, that's really, really good defense, turning around and shooting 50% on their own. We talk about Jefferson. He's just the second player this year to have multiple triple doubles in a game. A kid from SMU also has 2 triple doubles, but he's just a force. He does so much.
Last night's one of those games you see it. We've talked about this. That's again a nice thing that Iowa State has. They've got a couple of guys on the court, I almost said field, that can take over the game and be the best player of the 10 guys out there. Jefferson does that a lot, and he is a dominant force when he gets into that zone. And that felt like that last night for a while.
Let me ask you a question. And this is a great problem to have. We're lining up to play playground basketball. Okay. Everybody lines up.
Yep.
You got Momcilovic, you've got Torre, you've got Lipsy, you've got Jefferson.
Yep.
Who's your first pick?
Jefferson.
Bingo. I'm kind of with you. I'm with you. He can dish the ball. I mean, he had double-digit assists
do all
last
of it
night.
last night.
Yeah.
Right. He can just do everything that you need a guy to do. That's a good question, though. That would be a fun game to play because this team is so stacked.
Yeah, because if we do it with Iowa, we're all taking Bennett Stearns.
Yeah,
Every one of us taking Bennett
right.
Stearns. You do it with Iowa State, you're like, okay, do I want Momcilovic, who's just going to pop three-pointers? Do I want Tamin Lipsey, who's just the glue? But then you go, but what about that guy Jefferson? I'm taking Jefferson.
And I'm telling you, I think I like Buchanan, too. I think Buchanan adds a lot, and maybe Jefferson – I'd probably slide Buchanan up higher than a lot of people would. I don't think he's up there with Momcilovic or Lipsey, but I think he might be my fourth guy over Torrey.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Again, I like Buchanan.
Torrey was 5 of 9 from the field last night, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. Struggled at the free throw line. He was 0 for 2. He also pulled down 5 rebounds.
Team did, Trav. Did you see that? The team did. What they shot like 50% from the free throw line?
12 of 21 from the line. So, I mean, they win by 30, and you still shoot. I mean, UCF only got to the line 6 times. They were 5 of 6. Iowa State, 12 of 21 from the free throw line. So a 30-point game could have been a lot bigger. And that's got to drive a coach nuts, right? That just even though you win by 30, you look at that box score and you go, how do you shoot just over 50% from the free throw line?
Yeah.
It's fundamental. I mean,
defense. How do you do that? How do you shoot 57% from the free throw line and still dominate a game? You're the way better team, and you with defense.
515-517-2303. Let's go to the phones. That's where John is. John, welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on, man?
Thanks. Good morning. Just wanted to chat about Iowa State. I felt like even since the Oklahoma State game at home, they ended up winning, but they didn't play well. Kansas didn't play well. Cincinnati didn't play well. I felt like it was the energy in the team. And I wanted to get your guys' thoughts if you think that has any correlation with being on break.
I do.
From school.
I do. You
I
get
know all the other teams too, but still. There was the energy in the building tonight.
That's a great observation. I mean, look what happens during Christmas. I mean, you get out of kind of a regular routine, and yes, and what I mean is the campus buzz. You just there's not much around. There's no students around. The Ames is 26,000 people fewer things to do, and you just kind of sit around all day and do it. I have no problem saying that the break can be a hiccup for a team like Iowa State or really any team just because of the routine breakup. That's a good observation.
Right, I agree. I think you made a good point there. Like, when school's not going on, they're going to practice and working out, but then what else are they doing? It kind of gets in a routine, and I feel like the energy definitely in all the common denominator in all 3 of those games, the energy just was not there.
Well,
and it was back last night.
But why was the energy there? Because the students were back in Hilton Coliseum, right? I mean, you had students that were there, and that's what we love about college sports. Sure, fan bases are great, but student sections and lively ones take it to a completely different notch, completely different level.
Yeah, definitely, and also clearly at Hilton too. So, all right, thank you guys.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Good call, man.
Bye.
I just don't. Look at these 2 games. The Kansas one. There's 1,000 excuses for that.
Yeah,
whatever. Losing at Cincinnati was kind of an eyebrow raiser. This is exactly what you needed on the back end of that. It's the winter break. I think John lays it up. One of our listeners even said, "Hey, they've played flat ever since Iowa." Now, they did beat the crap out of West Virginia. They got that 10-point win over Baylor, but I think you could call that Baylor win flat. That's fair.
But you're also on the road in where Baylor was undefeated, right?
I think that's a fair comment just to say, man, if you go back a couple weeks, they haven't been that elite, dominant, amazing, kick your ass from the opening tip. And then last night, we saw that team again.
The problem, we're guilty of expectations, meaning you see just how good this team can be, and then when they don't perform to it, you're like, what's wrong? Why aren't you performing like we watched you do for much of the non-conference season to start the Big 12. What's wrong? We're looking for flaws or panic by flaws if somebody does not meet your expectation. And that's how high Iowa State's expectations are right now.
I wanted to ask John, as an Iowa State fan, that same question. We're drafting up the teams.
Oh, yeah.
Who's your number one pick? Not who's your favorite player. Who's your number one pick? If you're drafting up a squad right now to go out and play, here's another. You want to get really snotty? You want to really ruin people's day? If we throw the Iowa roster in there, where do you draft Bennett Sturtz?
Ooh, probably second or third.
Think so? Okay.
I'm still, you know what? You put both rosters there. I'm taking Jefferson over both rosters.
I would too. Yes, and I think I maybe would go Momcilovic and Lipsy, but Sturtz is right there. I wouldn't argue anybody picking him second.
Here's why I wouldn't take Momcilovic over Sturtz is because Momcilovic can shoot the three. He's a great shooter. Defensively, maybe some deficiencies.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, and Sturtz can literally take over a game if he has to.
Yeah.
But again, I'm starting with Jefferson.
We'll get to Sturtz. I'm a huge fan. I love it. Last night, another example of that thing we talked about where if he's playing at his pace, he's fantastic. Second half, that's exactly okay. But anyway, keep going.
Think about what we just did with Iowa State. You take most college basketball teams in the country, and you line up there, and it's usually a clear number one, and you probably don't go farther than number two, right? I mean, you're like, okay, after that, pretty big. We just named four. You could probably make an argument because you got Momcilovic, you've got Jefferson, you got Lipsy, you got Torrey, and you brought up Buchanan, and you're like, boy, I could make an argument for all five as my number one. But now there's levels to this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But
I think you can make an argument for three at any moment. You can make an argument for Torrey, or I'm sorry, for three of them. For Lipsy, not Torrey. I'm sorry, for Lipsy, Momcilovic, and Jefferson. Yeah,
it's going to be like wheelchair basketball. If we get six, because it sounds like Kluver's out on us. Okay, who's right?
What?
Remember he said that.
He's got the family stuff. That's
the family stuff. For some reason, for some unknown reason,
your priorities straight, Kluver.
Well, who plans a month and a half? It's a month from today. We are at Can Play to play wheelchair basketball, and he knew last Friday that his wife already had something planned. I don't plan past like Friday.
I'm fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, and I change things around. Well, I have this. Well, I can skip that. I mean, Tyler had enough time to go into a wife and say, "Hey, I need you to postpone this."
It's for the children.
Why doesn't Tyler like kids? Tyler, why don't you like kids besides your own?
But I think T-Box is right. He just didn't want to do it.
You might be right on that.
Oh, family stuff. Oh, yeah, that's the day I shower that day.
But here's what's going to happen at the wheelchair basketball game. We're going to find a sixth because we're going to need a sixth. We're going to need somebody to take a breather because it's a very hard thing to do. But we're going to start the game, and all of you like, hey, Justice, why don't you be the first one in?
Yeah, you're a first and third quarter guy because we need talent out there in the second and fourth quarter.
Sure. You're such a dick. You are such a dick sometimes. You're going to be like, hey, Justice, you haven't played this game before. You don't know what you're doing. Why don't you just sit, watch, observe, and kind of find out what the strategy is? Then we're going to let you in for about 30 seconds, and we're going to let you go back out just so Eli can get a quick breather. You're going to try to keep me off the court as much as possible.
No, you're a first and third quarter guy. Get into the deep end. Get out there. Figure it out.
Play defense, man. I cherry pick.
We are going to be so bad. You're just going to sit under the basket, aren't you?
I'm going to sit. Yeah, I'm going to sit under the basket and go, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball. Come play defense. I don't play defense.
Bill Murray in Space Jam, right?
Yeah, I got a confession to make.
You've never seen Space Jam?
I've never seen Space Jam.
Like the original. If you've never seen the LeBron one, I'm okay with that.
I've never seen Space Jam.
Wow, dude. That's a cultural like moment. That's something that wow. Well, to give you the gist of it, because I would have thought it was, well, yeah, it was. I guess it does make sense now. I would have thought Abigail would have been, that Owen and Abigail would have, but no, that movie was 90s. The movie was right. That now it makes sense. You didn't have kids. You were a young man. You wouldn't have gone to see a cartoon movie.
Yeah. So the original Space Jam came out in 1996.
96.
96. Okay. So I'm 26 years old. I just have a baby.
Yeah. Who isn't watching movies yet, and certainly not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like it fell in that thing where like, I'm not going to go see a cartoon basketball movie. It doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
And so as time goes on, it was never one, hey, let's pick that up on VHS. Then as time continues to move on, hey, let's pick that up on DVD. Never happened. So I've never seen Space Jam. Now, if I went back and watched it now, would I be like, wow,
I think you'd enjoy. I think you'd enjoy. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's goofy. It's a cartoon. It's a Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes.
But it's not up there like you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption or you haven't seen Forrest Gump. I mean, when I say I haven't seen Space Jam.
But with your affinity for Jessica Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do we got a hot cartoon character in here?
How do you feel about bunnies?
Well,
I'm with Irish.
Playboy bunnies are hot. I like Playboy bunnies. You know me. I'm with
Irish on this. I think you'd hate it if you watched it now. But the line that at the end of the movie, they're playing this big basketball game. There's a key moment. They got to have a defensive stop, and all of a sudden, Bill Murray is on their team, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to bring in Bill Murray." And he's like, "All right, tell me where I go." And they're like, "You're going to guard this guy." And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't play defense."
So I was quoting a line I didn't even know I was quoting. Right. Oh, man. Hey, if you are in the market for a new home, your first call is to Ross Peterson to say, hey, will you list my home and will you help me find one?
But my first thing is going to be send you Gary Presnall's contact information and say you got to be pre-approved. That's step one.
Pre-approval is the most important part of the process. That way you know how much you can afford. And Gary can get you a pre-approved in less than 30 minutes. It can happen after hours during the week and, of course, on weekends. And why do you go to Gary Presnall? Because he's the state of Iowa's top producing mortgage banker the past 7 years with Northwest Bank, and he's been doing this for 25 years. That's experience that counts. So you want a local trusted mortgage professional with years of experience to handle the largest purchase you're ever going to make. You can trust Gary. Take great care of you. Give him a call at 515-975-6767 today. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search the Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Prosnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage, and that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
New year, new ride, and there's never been a better time to upgrade. It's the 2025 sell down at Willis Chevrolet of Granger with the largest discounts in the area on remaining 2025 model year Chevy. Get into a Chevy Silverado with just 1.9 APR and up to $7,349 in total savings when you trade an eligible vehicle. Drive home a Chevy Trailblazer with 3.9% financing and 90 days with no payment. At Willis Chevrolet of Granger, you'll find family-owned values, friendly faces, and big savings you can feel good about.
Hi, it's Noel. If you're thinking about popping the question, start with a jeweler you can trust. At Fiscus Jewelers, we offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, featuring stunning engagement rings and rare and forever natural diamonds, pre-screened with advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together, and our CAD drawings are always free. And when it's time to say I do, don't forget the guys. We offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
You just heard from Noel Fiscus, and Noel's being very generous for Valentine's Day, and he's gifted the Rush Radio Show something to give you. Keep listening. Starting hopefully next week, we're going to tell you how to register to win for Valentine's Day. A pair of earrings valued at $700. We're talking 1 carat total weight, 14 karat gold. They want you to pick them up before Valentine's Day, so we'll probably give them away like on the 10th or 11th, something like that. And these exact earrings that retail for $700 are going to be available for Valentine's Day for $500. So you're going to get a nice discount if you don't win them. But when you need any type of jewelry, make sure to go to Fiscus Jewelers for anything you need. Ross, I do have to do a correction before Justin gets to us. And I just happen to have the TV on here because and it's an honest mistake by both of us. Easy to look past. We said that Arizona and Nebraska were the two only undefeated teams left.
Hold on. I pulled up the rankings. Who did I miss there?
Go to 25. Go to 25.
Miami of Ohio,
who won last night over Kent State to improve to 20-0 on the season. So I believe there are 3 undefeated teams left in college basketball: Arizona, Nebraska, and Miami of Ohio.
Are you someplace you can click on who Miami of Ohio has played here to get to 20-0? They're 20-0. First in the MAC, 8-0 in the conference. Their non-conference schedule is something to behold.
Is there a reason they're 20-0?
There's a reason they're 20-0 and still ranked 25th, Travis.
Because they haven't played anybody. I can't even tell you by looking at that schedule, which includes Mercyhurst, Arkansas, Pine Bluff. I'm just going to make the assumption, Ross, that UNC Greensboro is its best win, and I only say that because they're out of Greensboro.
Because it's the one school you know?
Yeah, it's the one school I know.
They beat a team called IU East, which is Indiana University East. There's a lot of Indiana universities.
Now the question is...
Okay, so there are 3 undefeated teams. All right. Go get them. What were they? Red Hawks? Miami, Ohio. The Red Hawks? Go get them, Red Hawks.
Red Hawks. Yeah, 20-0, ranked 25th in the country.
It's a hell of a season.
It is. But they might be one of those teams that if you lose in the conference championship, that might you may not get in. You may not be
a one bid league, even though you're 29 and 0, something like that.
29 and 1, and you don't get into the NCAA tournament. Not saying that's going to happen. They may get some grace, but they're still going to be like a 13 seed. So yeah,
that's funny. Look, hey, look at this. It showed that. Did you see that? Look at that. Oh, look at me. Look at all the things we're doing.
Multitasking. And Justin right now is going, damn it, I was going to get him.
Yeah.
Gonna say
you're not going to get us.
You know
Justin. Not going to get us.
We're trying our hardest so Justin doesn't get us.
During the break, I had pulled up my Twitter X machine and saw this video of Izzo from last night. Did you see him in the huddle telling his player, "You couldn't guard my mother"?
Did he really say that?
I swear to God, it's great. I'll retweet it so you can check it out if you want. It's great. He looks at the kid. He says, "Kaz, you can't guard my mother. My mother."
What a great line. How do you not laugh? How do you not laugh when you're in the huddle like that, right? Or you just...
At the time, if you're the kid, you're like... Oh, God.
Great one-liner. You mentioned, before we get into the Iowa game, my daughter, Mary, who lives in New Orleans, texted me last night and did the family group chat. She got to try out the Meta glasses.
Oh,
have you
yeah.
seen these things?
I have seen those things.
And she was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever experienced. You got to try. There's something about that world I don't want to go down.
What about what world? Which one? What are you talking about?
I mean, I already give up a lot of my information, your data. And if I'm wearing a pair of glasses that basically, what was that Tom Cruise movie? Minority Report?
Minority Report, yeah.
We're inching closer to that world, right?
For my first experience with the Meta glasses was my barber, Tommy Carter. And we're sitting there having a conversation and he's cutting my hair and I don't remember what came up. You know what I mean? We're talking about something, you know, where did Jarrett Stedham go to college? And he cutting my hair. Hey, Meta, where did Jarrett Stedham go to college? Whatever the question was, he fires it off and I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm wearing my Meta glasses. And pretty soon he's like, oh, went to, started at Auburn or whatever.
You were on the right track. Started Auburn.
I'm making that part of it up because I don't remember but I remember we had a conversation that it was one of those things where you would normally pull out your phone and Google something and he just did it. Then we were at our Friendsgiving party and my son Eli came around the corner wearing these black framed glasses. And I was like, well, whose glasses are you wearing? And he stood there and he's like, oh, these are Mitch's Meta glasses. And then he started doing photos and videos and pretty cool. I thought they were neat. I don't know.
They're not that expensive. And they're, you got Ray-Ban making them. So they become automatically cooler because you get a brand name on them. Remember Google Glass? Remember Google Glass? That never really quite took off because they were dorky looking. You could wear the Meta glasses and go, okay, these look like glasses. The Google Glass, like the first generation, it looked like something out of Star Trek, and people were like, I'm not going to wear this around. Yeah. And that had a little hologram in there and stuff like that. But apparently my daughter thinks they're the bomb, and so does your barber. So.
Wow, people that use it, man. Listen, when you say you're afraid of it, I didn't know what you meant by that. Like the AI thing or you're just trying to...
Yeah, this is where I'm a hypocrite because I'm like, no, man, you already know too much about me. Because then I see all these people, well, I'm not going to give up my information. Do you have a Gmail account? You give up your information. Do you have any app on your phone? You give up your information.
I feel like if you don't have a bunker and a Faraday cage, you aren't taking it serious enough, right?
By the way, when the apocalypse happens, I'm one of the first dead. I really am one of the first dead. I have no life skills whatsoever. I'll become part of the zombie apocalypse. I'll just become a zombie.
I hope when it happens, a bunch of people get together and decide to rebuild right away and become a community again. I hope it doesn't become the Civil War that it's always.
But we actually
displayed
need
as.
tradesmen and people who know how to do this stuff.
Yeah, and we actually need to be able to like each other.
Which
the first part of creating this mess is going to be to get us to hate each other. Check. Here comes number 2.
What do we do without the computer? Figure it out the old-fashioned way. You mentioned the second game last night. I was entertained watching the Iowa State game. I struggled with the Iowa game, Ross.
Wasn't a good game. That's what I was saying earlier when we started the show. Like, I had 2 good basketball games. I was saying, well, 2 basketball games where Iowa teams won. It wasn't that the Iowa game was not necessarily a good basketball game.
No, not at all. Just out of sync. And as you were watching it, and it's hard to tell with television, what happens is when you play like that, the crowd doesn't get into it. It just, I mean, you watch the Iowa State game and you can hear that excitement and you hear the energy like John talked about earlier. I'm watching the Iowa game going, crowd seems kind of dead. Teams playing kind of dead.
The crowd needs momentum. The crowd needs...
It's a good way to put it.
Right, and when you're not shooting the ball consistently, even Sturtz, who had 20 points last night. Do you have the box score up in front of you, Trav?
Yeah.
His line was not great last night.
Bennett Sturtz, 8 of 21 from the field, 0 for 3 from behind the three-point line, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers, 2 steals, and 1 block.
So, again, a nice line, controlled the game. Hawks win because of Bennett Sturtz. The crowd can't get into a game like that because there's no flow. It's not, hey, we got excited. All right, something to get excited about again. And then a third possession in a row, a big defensive stop. They had a lot of nice defensive stops, but it was just an ugly basketball game, Trav. One of those rock fights.
They were out rebounded 31-24. The best stat for Iowa was they forced 19 turnovers and only committed 12 on their own. Outscored Rutgers 19-11 points off turnovers. But otherwise, it was one of those games. Remember, we were shocked yesterday when we saw the line. Iowa was favored by 19.5. And I'm like, I'm not touching that. And it was one of those games you're like, this would be just, are they going to lose this? Are they letting them hang around long enough? 2 big runs really helped Iowa last night. There was a 13-3 run right before the end of the first half. Then they were down with about 5 minutes to go, or 10 minutes to go, rather. And they went on to like a 15-8 run and never looked back like in that last 5 minutes of the game, which they were able to keep their distance. So, you're right. Bennett Sturtz had a good game. But Tate Sage was the player last night in my book. I mean, even though he was second in scoring, he had 17 points, but he was 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 6 from behind the three-point line. And we're seeing different guys step up, people finding their groove. Tavion Banks he's a player. Fulgaris's minutes are dropping. Yeah, he's down to 14 minutes.
He just didn't look. Something seemed off with him last night. I don't know. Maybe again, lots of things can be happening this time of year, and maybe I'm making this up in my own head. There just seemed like there were a few times the camera panned in on him. He kind of like lost a possession one time. I think he got called for a bad foul. The camera zoomed in on him, and it just seemed like he was out. Didn't look the same to me. I don't know what else to say about that. So, when you've got Sage playing like that, that helps a lot.
We forget about that with players, that everybody's built differently, and how you deal with adversity, how you deal with slumps. And some people can bite, Bennett Sturtz is going to play his way through a slump, right? I mean,
he seems stoic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what's going on. He has the same look on his face. If things are going great, he hits a big shot. He looks stoic. Fulgaris seems a little bit more of a, I don't know, maybe a little bit more emotional, but maybe I'm seeing something that's not there.
Do we have too high of expectations of Fulgaris because, he's like the biggest guy in the team, like he should be doing?
No, I don't think there's too high of expectations for him. I mean, he's only started a handful of games. I don't think so.
Okay. But Iowa now 14-5 overall, 4-4 in the Big Ten. This is that crazy Big Ten schedule. Mick Cronin from UCLA was bitching about the Big Ten scheduling last night.
I'm sick of Mick Cronin bitching. Dude, every time I see Mick Cronin, he's bitching about travel and how the league's out to get him. And then find a different job, dude.
Yeah, you guys signed up for this. You knew that the majority of the teams in the Big Ten are way east of you. But if I'm Ben McCollum, I don't like it either. Now, I don't think Ben McCollum's going to come out and complain, but they don't play for 8 days. This is about rhythm.
Really?
Yeah, they have an 8-day break here. This is about rhythm. It's about routine. It's about consistency. All of a sudden, you're like, you get done last night, and you're like,
This is like another Christmas break all of a sudden.
Exactly.
Holy cow. Yeah, they don't play till next Wednesday.
Yeah.
A week from tonight. Wow.
No, is it next Wednesday or is it?
It's the 28th. Would that be next Wednesday?
Yeah, it would be next Wednesday. And is it at USC?
Nope, that's a home game.
Home game against USC. I mean, that's a long break.
That is. I'm Mick Cronin. I saw that this morning too, that he was, and his complaint basically is not only that we have to have a quick turnaround, but now we have to have a quick turnaround against one of the best teams in the league, and that's not that doubles how unfair this all is.
By the way, they beat Purdue last night, right?
This is, I don't know. I'm tired of Mick Cronin bitching about this.
Well, and the reason you're tired about it is because he gave the same argument last year. Okay, we've heard you once. It's not probably going to change. I don't know how you would do it differently. When you go coast to coast, and this is the problem with conferences that are now nationwide.
Yes.
Is that you're going to, in the Big Ten more than any other league, you got to go from California to New York. There's going to be travel problems.
Yeah, they beat Purdue last night. Then they have to play Northwestern, who, by the way, is the worst team in the league. They play them this weekend. And then next Wednesday, when the Hawks are back in action, they will be at Oregon. So he was bitching about being at Ohio State, hosting Purdue, hosting Northwestern, and then being at Oregon, all within the span of a week.
I mean, that's college basketball. But yeah, it's going to fall on deaf ears to most people because, okay, you did this last year. You got your 1 year to complain. We listened to it, but to do it over and over again, it's like, okay, whatever, man. You're talking about 22-year-old guys. You're flying private. There are worse things in life. We do have some basketball tonight. Northern Iowa is going to be at Illinois State, and Northern Iowa needs to win. They've lost 4 in a row, Ross. Last outing, they only scored 44 points. Ben Jacobson needs to find some offense.
This is the epitome of one of those gotta have games, Trav. And again, not in the sense of you can't make the NCAA tournament if you don't win this game. You've lost 4 straight, and this was a team that we thought was going to battle for one of the top spots in the Valley. Illinois State is right in that same group, in that middle of that conference. So this is one of those barometer games, if you will. Like you got to win this win to start getting things right to position yourself better for the Valley. Right now, UNI sits in the middle of the Valley with Drake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are in 6th place at 4-4 in the conference. Drake is 3-5. To go back a month when we were talking about, man, UNI's rolling. Jake's looking great. Normally they don't look good in December because they're figuring things out. But then by January, end of January, February, this team's rolling. It's the exact opposite. And Illinois State they're not a bottom feeder in the Missouri Valley. They're in that middle group with Drake.
They were the preseason pick to win the damn thing.
Were they really?
Yes.
Tough game.
They have to score more than 44 points. Scoring 44 at Valpo was like, whoa. Drake's going to be home tonight against Murray State. Murray State has a 2-game lead in the Missouri Valley Conference. Still has not lost a conference game. This is a tremendous turnaround by a team that was not very good a year ago. Is really good this year under first-year head coach Ryan Miller, who comes from the Greg McDermott coaching tree. You look at the Greg McDermott coaching tree, it's pretty darn impressive. I mean, you've got Darren DeVries, you've got Ryan Miller, you've got Alan Huss, who went to High Point, who's the coach in waiting at Creighton. You have Lutz at Oklahoma State, who's from the Greg McDermott coaching tree. I'll give Greg McDermott credit in the fact that you're able to identify talent, mentor talent, and send them on their way.
Darren comes from the
Dana Altman, Greg McDermott, but he spent a lot of time with
Greg. I'm always curious how this coaching tree. Who's TJ? TJ is off of Fred.
No, he worked for Greg. Greg got him in. Yeah. So,
okay.
I mean, since you have that point of connection, TJ Otzelberger is part of the Greg McDermott coaching tree. I mean, I wonder if you take pride in that like a father, right? You're like, look at my kids. Look at my kids out there winning.
I think you're just rooting for your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind maybe in a way. I mean, it's a way different relationship, but I kind of like Williams. When I think about Williams and his book and how they're doing it, I'm so happy for him. No. It's not like I'm just happy for my friend to have found the success and doing the things that he loves to do. So I think that's more of that. Like you've been around coaches enough to know that's kind of the relation. It's more of a brotherhood than a father-son proud of you relationship. It's more like, hey man, congratulations on doing this thing that I'm doing. Really cool. Glad you came along.
You know, it's interesting because Justin and I were having this conversation because he was asking me about Ryan Miller. Because you got Hendo, who's a first-year Valley head coach. You've got Ryan Miller, who's a first-year Valley head coach. He goes, what's the difference? You know, we were like, a lot of people are like, well, if Ryan Miller can do it, how come Hendo can't do it? Well, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison. Right. And I broke it down like this. Well, Hendo was at South Dakota State, recruiting players to South Dakota State, and comes to Drake. Ryan Miller was at Creighton, one of the chief recruiters at Creighton. You're playing in the Big East. Your database of who you've had contacts with and who you've built relationships with is completely different, right? Do you know what I'm saying there? Yeah. Is that when you're recruiting, and the Big East is a power conference. Big East has really good basketball, but when you're recruiting those type of players who may go, you're like, God, you're just not quite there enough, but you have those contacts and go, hey, I got a deal for you. Come to Murray State. And I think that's the biggest difference is the recruiting data or playbook, who you've been recruiting, and the type of program you've been around. Nothing against South Dakota State, but that's where I don't think it's an apples-to-apples comparison. And I would be surprised if Ryan Miller is at Murray State next year. I mean, if you go through this league,
continues this,
because what happens now, and this is the Kurt Signetti effect, and it's going to happen in basketball. Oh, he did it in 1 year here. We got to hire this guy.
Think about when we give this guy resources,
when we give him money, when we give him facilities.
You get that smell of a winner. He's another guy. I was just looking him up. He's like, I would have seen pictures of him. I'd have thought he was mid-30s. He's 50.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never thought he was 50. I mean, that's a long time to hang on for your first head coaching gig, right?
A lot like a DeVries.
Yeah.
I don't think he was quite 50, though. He was
not when he got the Drake job. He wasn't. But he seemed. See, Darren always seemed older to me because he started at Creighton almost right out of UNI. So you're there that long. You're like, oh,
when you're a coach,
you're old.
Take on a seniority.
Yeah, but if Ryan Miller was at Murray State next year, I would be surprised because you're gonna have people get fired. You're gonna be like, that guy won right away. And athletic directors, fan bases, what do they want? They want people who can win right away. And you come from and then you go, well, who do you work for before? Greg McDermott? Oh, TJ Otzelberger, Darren DeVries, Steve Lutz. These guys have gone someplace. The track record proves itself. But yeah, the Drake game starts at 6:00. So nice early start for the Bulldogs. We've had a couple 8:00 starts this year. 6:00 games.
Are both games tonight? Are both Valley games, Drake and you and I, both at 6:00 tonight?
I didn't look at the UNI start time.
Here, I've got Northern Iowa in front of me. They are 8 o'clock tonight.
Ooh. I hear 8 o'clock, and all I think is I'm sleeping.
Famed matchup predictor is not in UNI's favor, Travis. 70% to 30%.
The famed
ESPN analytics matchup predictor says 70.2% chance of a win for Illinois State tonight.
What's the famed predictor say for the Drake game?
Well, first of all, UNI 6.5-point dogs. So there's the other part of that one, and now we'll go to Drake here and see what I can find. Drake, as you mentioned, 6 o'clock tip-off tonight with whoopsie, hit the wrong game. Went to Belmont for some reason. 60% to 40%. 61.9 for Murray State to 38.1. Drake is a 4.5-point dog.
Thank you for the matchup predictors. I wish I knew what kind of analytics went into that. It's kind of a secret formula that ESPN has, and it's always dangerous because you see that and you're like, well, they're supposed to win. I just look at point spreads and go, okay, who's favored? That keeps me posted.
It basically goes by their men's basketball power index, which, by the way, right now has Iowa State as the 6th best team in the country, but that same power index has Arizona as the 5th best team. Duke, Michigan, Gonzaga, Houston, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, everybody, join the frenzy with the Iowa Wolves and the Minnesota Timberwolves. You can win courtside seats to an Iowa Wolves game or a VIP experience with the Minnesota Timberwolves, including watching warm-ups courtside, plus $1,000 cash and a night in Minneapolis. This promotion from the Iowa Lottery is open right now. Non-winning Cash Frenzy scratch tickets can be entered into your Iowa Lottery VIP Club account for a chance to win. If you're not a VIP Club member, it's absolutely free. Just go to the IowaLottery.com/VIP, get signed up, then get those Cash Frenzy scratch tickets. If you want to win free Cash Frenzy scratch tickets, on Friday we do the weekly Woohoo. Well, that's part of the $90 prize pack that we give away. So go watch some Iowa Wolves, go watch some Minnesota Timberwolves, all on the Iowa Lottery. You got to play to win and become a VIP. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
More Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Go get all this booze.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Your vehicle depends on one thing every time you turn the key: your battery. Most modern vehicles have over 50 ECUs to run the electronics from your engine to your heated steering wheel. For the month of January, come see us at Willis Chevrolet of Granger for your free battery test. If your battery is needing replacement, mention that you saw this video and receive $25 off a new Sunoco battery installed in our service department. Don't get stranded this winter with a dead battery. Call us today to schedule your appointment, or you can schedule online at willischevy.com.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Willis Automotive powers the Rush Radio Show, and if you're in the market for a vehicle, this is where you start. New, used, or certified pre-owned, Willis Automotive has the selection, the people, and the service to make it so easy for you. There's no pressure, there's no games, just a team that knows how to take care of you. Check them out at willisauto.com. That's willisauto.com, and experience the difference today. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Good to have you with us. If you're listening on the audio streams, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button, and of course, follow us on our social media channels. Covered a lot in hour number one. Talked a lot about Iowa State, talked a lot about Iowa, hit on Drake, and you and I. We're going to stay on the college basketball track, Ross. And what is it they say when you open Pandora's box? What is it when you open Pandora's box?
Lots of trouble comes out.
Lots of trouble comes out.
What do they say about Pandora's box? I mean, Pandora's box is a thing of, it's basically trouble, right? That means when you open Pandora's box, you've opened trouble. Is that what that essentially means?
I believe, yeah. That's the fable that goes along with Pandora's box.
I don't know what, you know what I think Pandora's box is now? It's like a jewelry store, isn't it? One of those stupid online get junk. I shouldn't trash it. I don't know. I don't know what Pandora's box is, but I think that it's a myth of Greek mythology about the first woman, Pandora, who is given, it's always the woman.
Eve.
Sorry. Was given a jar, often called a box, by Zeus, containing all the world's evils, but also hope. Her overwhelming curiosity led her to open it, releasing suffering, disease, and death, but trapping hope inside, serving as a cautionary tale about temptation. Huh, how about that? There you go. Greek mythology here on the Rush.
So when it comes to COVID, you blame Pandora. She opened the jar and COVID came flying out.
Whatever it is, you sure?
Well, the NCAA earlier this season, we've talked about it before on the show, opened Pandora's box. They've been opening Pandora's box for a long time because they decided, and I love you. And for as cynical as I am and seeing things, you right away are like, they want this. They want this chaos. And so, of course, we have G League players that are playing in college basketball. We have former NBA draft picks that are currently playing in college basketball. And by the way, not dominating like you would think would happen. I played in the G League. You're going to dominate the college. I was a second-round pick. I'm going to dominate. Not happening. But now, there were some rules behind that. Kid from Baylor who was drafted, never signed a professional NBA contract, never signed a two-way contract when he was in the G League, and also played in Europe.
Trav, I lost you. Is your road going bad again? Are you kidding me? Oh. Trav got this new piece of hardware. Yep. And every now and again, this thing just shuts down on him. Like, totally. I got you, buddy. I got you. Do your thing. Shut down. We'll have you out. We'll have you back here in a few minutes. I know where you were going with this, and I can kind of pick up some of the pieces on this, because this is a crazy story. It's a great example of how the NCAA is just, I'll kind of feed into what Travis was saying there about my little conspiracy theory, and I've talked to you guys about this a little bit. The new fight that's going to come out now, and I'm trying to get to the to this so I can find ex-Alabama G League player Bediako is suing the NCAA. So this is the Alabama kid, Charles Bediako. He's a superstar. Went to the NBA G League. Now, he signed a couple of two-way deals, but he never actually played in the NBA, okay? So he's now saying, this is why Travis was calling this Pandora's box. The NCAA allowed those G League players to come back and sign into the NBA or sign into to NCAA and gave them NCAA eligibility. The argument here is you're treating the international players differently than you're treating the American players. These American-born players that did the NCAA route and then did the same thing that these guys did from Europe, but these European players played professionally and then came over and did this. Now you're giving them NCAA eligibility, but not us. So that begs the question, why did the NCAA allow? Because they still have power. There is this idea that the NCAA has been stripped of all their power is nonsense. They can still enforce all the rules that they want to enforce. But with Charles Bediako, they have decided that he is not going to be allowed to play. And Travis, you were just getting into this. There are some differences between Charles Bediako's situation and these other guys that we were talking about last week that were drafted and or signed G League contracts and then were granted NCAA eligibility. Charles Bediako did sign a few two-way deals, right?
Signed three two-way deals. Now, never got to the league, but you signed the deal that said, hey, you could be playing in the NBA. And there's a difference in contracts. His argument, and I don't know if he got to this, is that he's suing them for the draconian NCAA rules. And if he would have known NIL money would have been what it is, he would have never entered the NBA draft in 2023. That's called buyer's remorse. That's on you, man. That's on you. You don't get to go, well, I left for the money, but I could have made more money over here.
Yeah.
That's not the way the world works. Guess what? There's going to be a lot of guys who leave college, enter the professional ranks, and don't make as much money in their professional sport as they did in college. What do you mean my first year, my rookie contract is this? We have to draw the line somewhere.
We had a pretty firm line in the sand. The NCAA for a long time, as much as I hated the amateurism thing, and I think that amateurism is there still has there. Even though I didn't like the label for it, there was a really solid line. And that line was, as soon as you get paid by a professional organization, you're not allowed to do this anymore. You're at a different level. And you've admitted...
Would you include Europe into that?
Yes.
And it always used to be that way. It's like, oh, you made $100 playing in a professional Australian league game? Sorry, you made $100.
I think that the NCAA, well, I mean, hell, they have. I was going to say, I think they would allow this in football. They have. International players come in. Look at Troy Taylor. International players come over and I wouldn't say granted special exemption, but I do believe that the NCAA is allowing this stuff to get crazy like this because they want Congress to step in. Berger even says, this is not a conspiracy, Ross. The NCAA wants things so messed up that Congress steps in. Yeah, I really do believe that. They still have power. They still have authority. They could absolutely weigh in on this stuff and say, hey, This is where the line has been forever. Everybody knew where the line was. You guys crossed the line. Bediako's situation is like you lay it out, Travis. It looks like this is just purely about the money of like, oh, wait, I could have made more money if I stayed at Alabama. Can I just re-enroll back there and cash some big checks real quick and help them win?
If you're always chasing the money, you're going to be chasing money the rest of your life. You made a choice based on what the feedback you were given to go into the NBA draft, to play professionally. You forfeited at that point your rights to play college basketball. Sure, they're making a lot of money right now. You don't get to say do-over. It's called adulting.
Travis, I would have no problem with a rule that said this. You can apply for the draft. Make yourself eligible for the draft. You can get drafted. You can hire an agent.
Well, because they have agents now, right?
You can have an agent. You can get drafted. As soon as you sign the contract, then you're no longer eligible to come back. But I would have no problem with the NCAA applying the baseball rule to all these other sports. You can go into the draft, and if you don't like the team that drafts you, if you can't work things out with that team and you don't go professional, welcome back. You got to go to school first and foremost. Again, man, we keep running to the 400th lap of this race. Lap number 1, you got to be in school. You're playing for a university. There has to be a higher learning part of this. Grad transfer, whatever it is what we call it. You got to be in school and you got to maintain a GPA. Because that's a part of this thing.
Part of the system you're in.
Part of the system that you're in. And again, the rules. If you decide that you're going to go pro, you can go pro. Cash that first check, and now you can't come back and play here anymore. From a professional league. You're going to get paid here, like Bediako's talking about.
It's time to grow up. This is about being. You're in your 20s. You're an adult. Let's say I left my job at MCO Construction because I thought something was going to be greener. Guess what? I don't get to go back to my bosses and say, "Hey, I messed up here. You filled my position, but can I come back?" Because their option could be, sure. You provided value. They'd be like, dude, you left. You don't get to come back. It's not the way this works. There are consequences for actions you take. You decided to go pro. You signed 2-way contracts. You're pissed because the money's better. Well, guess what? Bob Feller was pissed that players were making money when he wasn't.
And again, important clarification here about Bediako. This is not like... This isn't a couple of months ago. He played an entire season last year in the G League.
Averaged like 10 points a game.
He played an entire season of professional basketball last year in the G League and is now 8 games into the second season of his professional career and going, man, I wish I could have that senioritis. Wish I could be back in there and big man on campus again one more time would be fun, wouldn't it?
And the NCAA said we've been very clear, meaning if you signed a 2-way contract, that's different than because what you have now. Remember, when they got rid of the one and done, they said, hey, if you're going to be a one and done, or you can go to the G League, see where you measure up. And I even struggle with that, but I think there is a difference if you don't have the 2-way option and say there's not a 2-way contract guy with Minnesota. And they can't bring him up. He's playing for the Iowa Wolves, but they can't bring him up because he's not a 2-way contract. Now, if Minnesota comes and says, hey, we need you on a 2-way contract, then you're changing the game a little bit. But I'm kind of with you. It's just like, do we need to go back to if you received any money professionally, you've waived your rights. And I think there was a time, Ross, when we kind of looked at the European leagues as being somewhat inferior, like it's not the same. You know what's really good now? And go look at a lot of rosters where players are coming from. European basketball is pretty good. Yeah. It's an international game.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't feel sorry for people that missed out on the money. I don't. In fact, I don't think the House settlement should have repaid all these players. You just say, hey, we're going to start paying players. Sorry, you missed it before. You're not going to get a check. That's the rules you played under.
3 NBA contracts, played a full season in the NBA G League.
But says, hey, I want to go back.
I'm dead serious. The NCAA has to draw the line, because then where does it stop? Why can't Hendo go down here to the Iowa Wolves and say, hey, who's got some eligibility? Who's never
not signed a 2-way contract?
Who's not signed a 2-way contract and wants to come and just ball out, have some fun, really make a name for yourself on a national level. You'll splash on the headlines. As we learned from Hendo, though, he wants to do it the right way. He'd like to entertain the idea of dunking to start the pregame warmups, but he wants to do it the right way. He wants to get on the top 10 list for different reasons.
Why we're talking about lawsuits? Because if you think that one's crazy, what's going on in Duke is now crazy.
Oh yeah, they're suing their own quarterback to make him stay.
Well, you signed a contract. You signed a deal that signed over your NIL rights for $4 million. But there's a bigger story here that everybody's kind of ignoring. This one got wild because Darian Mensah, the Duke quarterback, led the ACC in passing last year, told Duke, hey, I'm not going to go in the transfer portal. I'm coming back. And then yesterday or 2 days ago says, I'm going to go in the transfer portal. First of all, Duke was done playing a long time ago. I thought the transfer portal closed. I thought we had like this window to where you could only enter the transfer portal at a certain time. Is that apparently out the door? Can you just still get in the transfer portal? Then they go to court to put a temporary injunction. You get a judge who goes, tell me this doesn't just look as deep south. Judge gets on the bench. I'm a Duke season basketball ticket holder, and I'm a booster. I have to recuse myself from the case. Next judge comes in and says, nope, no temporary restraining order. Mensah can go right in the transfer portal. And now they're like, hey, but the contract said any NIL disputes needed to be settled through arbitration. Your contract says that. You sign $4 million. Does Duke paying $4 million surprise you? It did me. Now I know Duke's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
But $4 million. I mean,
Travis, they're paying him $4 million and he's looking around.
Because, well, you know where he's going.
Yeah, it sounds like
Miami. Okay. Why aren't we talking about tampering here? Kids not in the transfer portal. All of a sudden wants to go in the transfer portal. Already linked to Miami. Why can't we talk about the tampering allegations here? I'm all for players getting paid. You sign a contract, that is binding. There are rules to the contract. You don't just going to go,
this is wild.
And let's use it's not apples to apples, but let me give you an example. Ross, why didn't Clemson and Florida State leave the ACC?
Why didn't? Because of the grant of rights?
Grant of rights, meaning if you leave, you can leave.
Yep. You just have to pay us.
But we own your media rights, so therefore, whatever money you make from another conference comes right back to the ACC. That's essentially like an NIL deal. You sign, hey, we're going to give you $4 million. You give us your NIL rights, but we're going to pay you for those. Well, if you leave and you've signed a contract that says Duke owns your NIL rights, well, they own your NIL rights because you and your agent agreed to that. We live in a society that's just really weird. It's all about me. And I get it. But once you make a decision and sign the dotted line, you're kind of stuck with that.
Right.
It's the decision you made. Do-over. Do-over.
But Trav, how? There's so many fun parts of this story. One of my favorites is the judge that has to say, "Hey, I'm gonna be real clear here. I can't be unbiased. I bleed Blue Devil blue."
Because what would happen right away? They would have investigated him, and they would have said, "Got to throw this out." Credit the judge for being very aware of that,
and knew and smart. I mean, just aware of the situation to go, "Oh yeah, they'll come back at me in this." So recuse myself, step away. How do you think this ends up? I think you're right. It's a contract. A lot like the Bediako situation. You signed in his case 3. You signed a contract. You've got to live up to that, and if not, there's going to be penalties for that. And maybe Miami steps up and says, "We'll pay those penalties."
Okay, but if the penalty is okay, if you go to arbitration, that's essentially, hey, let's cut a deal.
Did you mention? I think that was a part of the contract, right?
So like the kid from Washington, when he left, his contract said the repayment would be at Washington's discretion. And it was a signed contract. And I think every lawyer said, you need to go back, son, because you're going to lose money. Here, at least Duke is saying, hey, we'll arbitrate this, meaning we'll go to an arbitrator, basically negotiate what you're going to give us in return. And this is a university who's putting resources, money towards a player that if you want to buy his contract out, or if you want to pay to get out, it's going to cost you this much. Yeah. That's fair. You can only be on the player's side for so long, and if you want to play, like if he gets drafted in the NFL and doesn't like playing for the Jets, you don't get to go after year one. Hey, I think I want to go play for the Titans.
And if Bediako comes back, then why not? If you've got Carson Beck standing up there saying, "Class, I graduated 2 years ago from a different university." What's stopping that from happening? Again,
515-517-2303. Let's go to Kirk. Kirk, welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on?
Travis, Ross, how you guys doing?
Good.
What's up, Kirk?
Hey, this whole I've been chiming in on the chat. This whole contract thing, until we get down to like the truth, like what do these contracts really mean? Everybody's suing everybody. Everybody's doing all this stuff. Like this needs to be figured out. Whether it's a court of law or whatever. We're just wasting time bumping up against guardrails here.
And lawyers are laughing all the way to the bank. They're like, okay, we're going to make some money doing this.
Yeah, and I'm listening to you guys, and everything you're saying, I don't disagree with it, but it's just funny. You've got college football players and college basketball players that can't play in the NBA or can't play in the NSL, but they're getting, extended years and all this, and they're getting money now. I'm done hearing about contracts until there's actually some type of negotiated agreement, and you can say pro-union, anti-union, whatever, I don't care. But until there's an agreed upon system in college football and now college basketball, we're going to be talking about this until until Travis, you aren't going to retire. So,
well, Kirk, I think what you're talking about is transparency, right? Transparency in the process.
Yeah.
And when you don't have transparency, it's hard for people to grasp, and we're all going to have different opinions. And we're left to make assumptions. And what happens when we make assumptions?
Yep. You and I both know what happens.
Yeah. And here's the problem with uniform. Well, but you bring up a good point. I mean, this is a rabbit hole we could spend 3 hours talking about. Meaning that's a slippery slope even for the universities, because what do these universities not want? They don't want these players to become employees because now you're talking workers' comp, you're talking healthcare, you're talking a whole bunch of different issues. But if you become an employee, that also, especially with public institutions, then it becomes a lot more transparent. You can go on any website and find out what every professor, assistant professor, teaching tech makes at Iowa State and the University of Iowa. That's all public knowledge. There would be transparency there, but man.
I think that's the rub is we don't know what we don't know, but we want to know what we want to know. And it's not getting there. And then we get, somebody that's got 7 years of eligibility, heck, Travis, you're an all-star quarterback. Can you come out? You have eligibility.
I was the all-star in the interception league, is what I was. They're like, who can throw the most picks? Justice can.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not calling to, argue either way. It's more about I think we're just in a circular argument until whether it's the courts, government isn't going to fix this.
No.
They're going to try. They're going to try.
Go to Ronald Reagan. I'm here from the government and I want to help. So.
Oh, good stuff, Kirk. Appreciate it, man.
See you, Kirk. I love that the chat has decided that Kirk's way too level-headed to actually be a chat bro. They're like, wait, that can't be. No way. He's way too level-headed.
Like, damn. What's up with that? They were like expecting like a Derek.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted him to be.
Really good call, Kirk. Thank you.
If that was Captain Kirk, and I think it was, I know what he does for a living. He's way too level-headed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But he's in the chat every morning. He was one of the first ones said, here we go. What's going to be interesting, Ross, is, well, if it goes to arbitration, and this is where Duke is smart. You say this goes to arbitration. Let's say this goes to court. Even though Duke is a private institution, what happens when this goes to court?
Discovery.
And that becomes public. And we're going to learn a lot. I mean, Duke is mad at this kid because he disclosed how much his NI deal was worth. He wasn't supposed to disclose any of that information.
Hey, I mentioned to you last week, I said, there's this thing in businesses. We all know this. We all know that you're not supposed to talk about your salary at work. You shouldn't tell the other people you work with what you make, and you don't want to know what other people make because it's only going to cause problems, right, Travis?
Yeah.
That's what's happening in these college football programs. That is happening. And it's not necessarily a jealousy thing. It's more like a, hey, wait a minute. I'm doing the same thing this guy's doing. He's getting how much? Because somebody negotiated for him better than my guy negotiated for me. He gets life-changing money and I'm holding a clipboard. And it's going to, and that will, so you're going to have some sort of uniformity to it.
And let's take it even a step further. You have teammates are going, what? And then you're going to have people from other teams go, what?
Yep.
$4 million for Duke?
Yep. I think that part of this is also, every time I hear this stuff, it's just like, I want to say this. Why is that kid, why is the Duke quarterback getting $4 million? Because he's worth it.
To them, he's worth. That's how much these players have been worth to these universities and to these fan bases. These players have had that much worth, so we're going to see this pendulum swing a couple of times. And right now, it's swinging $4 million to play quarterback at Duke. I bet Mark Gronowski's looking around, going, "What? Can I have one more year?"
Yeah, I only got. What are the reported things for Gronowski? 2?
Between 1 and 2, I heard.
Yeah, whatever.
But
and
we don't know what's
accurate. We don't know. And then you hear all sorts of crazy stuff.
There's a reason why that kid from Ole Miss is trying to come back for his 6th year. I mean, his doctor's note to the NCAA was, he was healthy during this time. I mean, he actually handed a note that basically said he was healthy, but he wanted a medical redshirt for his 6th year.
You guys said you needed a note from my doctor. You didn't say what it had to say.
Yeah. You need to find a doctor that knows how to lie.
Rocco back to what was the number that we heard on that? 3 million to Penn State? Was it 3 or 4?
I haven't heard a number on Rocco.
I'll go look at that. I heard source of the source. Don't quote me on this. Somebody that I know told me at one point that they had heard from a good source. I want to go back and find this. I know who sent it to me, so I'm going to try to find.
While you're finding it, if the Duke quarterback's getting $4 million, to say that Penn State wouldn't give Rocco Becht, who's a proven winner, $3 to $4 million would not blow my socks off.
Guy wrote to me, said, talk to my source. Said Rocco is going. This was just before it was announced. Rocco is going to Penn State, and they're paying him $3 million a year. Now that, again, don't quote me on that. All of this stuff is hearsay. All of it. No matter who your connection is, no matter what all of it is hearsay. So I don't know what to believe in it. But when again, this stuff goes to court, we're going to find out what's real. I've had people tell me both sides of it, Travis. I've had people in the know say, hey, you guys are way off on this money stuff. Way off. And then the conversation go two ways. One, you guys are way, way high. These guys aren't making nearly as much money as you think it is. And then the next guy will say to you, they're making so much more than you guys think.
If you were a betting man, would it be more or less?
More.
I'm with you.
Especially when you hear stuff like this, $4 million.
The dirty laundry. But you know what? Sympathy for players. I think there was a lot of sympathy for players to get paid.
Yes,
you were
absolutely.
one of them.
Yeah, big time. And
but
I think
you can lose your goodwill when you start doing stuff like this, where we all thought you were going to get a commercial with a local car dealer. Instead, you're making millions of dollars. You sign contracts. You're like, I don't like the terms of the contract. Our sympathy starts to dissipate quickly. Hey, Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company bottles and distributes Coca-Cola portfolio all across Iowa, Wisconsin, Missouri, plus water, sports drinks, teas, and energy beverages. I mentioned Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, also Minnesota, making sure great refreshment is never far from wherever you are. It's Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Rain, sleet, or snow, be ready for winter. Hi, I'm Josh Romick, Service Manager at Willis Lexus. I want to share with you our great service special now through February. Get up to a 15% discount on select services and repairs with a maximum of up to $300. Come see us at Willis Lexus to take advantage of this great deal. Stay warm, and thanks for watching.
Fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Hi, it's Noel. At Fiskus Jewelers, we're honored by the fact that our customers continue to come back on purpose, and that trust means everything to us. For years, we've been privileged to be a part of life's most meaningful moments, and we never take that responsibility lightly. We proudly offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, cutting-edge custom designs, including free CAD drawings, and a team that takes the time to get it right. Thank you for choosing us year after year. Fiskus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner at Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Happy New Year from myself and everyone else over here at Willis Volvo. My New Year's resolution this year is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. You can come on down for $25 off your service. Visit us online at willisvolvocars.com or give us a call to get scheduled.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Here in Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn benefits the entire state. It feeds our livestock, nourishes our families, and provides clean burning fuel. So clean burning unleaded 88. Pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org to learn more. Was that driving you nuts that I was on the other side?
Yeah, well, wasn't driving me nuts necessarily, but I did see some people comment like, well, this looks backwards. So quick clicks of buttons while you were speaking there. That was easy.
We're kind of backwards. We're backwards people.
Yeah, upside down sometimes, all the things.
Were you watched the championship game the other night, right?
Yeah. You're talking about the
college football championship?
Yeah.
There's some upset people out there, Ross. Because you know, Arnie Harris was famous for showing people in the crowd, right? Well, ESPN was just going for these crowd emotions as Miami was losing, and you had the tears flowing, and they showed a really hot girl from Miami.
Yeah.
Which, take a pick.
Yeah, right. Exactly right.
Well, apparently, one of the people they showed was a Bella Danger. Huge Miami fan. I hear the name of Bella Danger. It means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me. Apparently, a Bella Danger is a porn star. And people are like, now, in all seriousness, I didn't know who a Bella Danger was. I know we joke a lot about porn on this show, and I'm not saying I don't watch porn every now and then.
Yeah, neither one of us are saints.
I don't watch to get to know the names.
Right.
Let's just put it that way.
I'm not watching for the articles.
But people are like, how could you show her? And my question is, how do you know her? I mean, if you're all up in arms about this, ask yourself, how do you know her? Because if you know who she is, you're just going to keep your mouth shut. You're not going to go, honey, do you know who that is?
I bet some guys did. I bet there were guys who were like, no way.
But if that's the case, then they have a relationship with their wife where that's okay to speak freely like that. Like I could make that joke with my wife and she'd be like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But if you're upset and going, I can't believe they did this. Well, how do you know who she is? Then a Bella Danger had to come out and issue a statement to TMZ Sports saying, I wish ESPN wouldn't have showed me. I was just there to support my Miami Hurricanes.
She did not.
Yep.
You knew the camera was there. You're right. It wasn't like a tight zoom from the camera across the field.
It was a close-up.
It was a close-up.
It was a close-up.
The porn star is worried about her privacy being violated when she's in a public stadium.
To give her credit,
This falls in line with Muhammad Ali was a pacifist in my mind.
No,
just so you know.
I'm actually going to take her side here. And just
really?
hear me out.
Okay.
Just hear me out. This isn't the first time as I went down this rabbit hole, probably wrong euphemism or comparison to hole, that they've showed her. And it's sparked controversy because she understands when you're in a public stadium, you really can't do anything about it. All she said is, I wish they wouldn't have showed me because this is what happens. And I was just there. Let's not forget, even though you have a profession that some people will look at and go, that's horrible, they are people, and you can be a sports fan. You just want to go to a game and watch
it. I really am confused by this. Okay, and maybe if you understand this a little better than me, what is she upset about?
That it becomes a distraction when they show her. She's like, because like the online hate starts, and she's like, I just wish they wouldn't show me because
she doesn't have to go to the games.
But if you're a fan, and everybody has a level of fans, I understand what you're saying, but some people want to go to a game. If you're a Miami Hurricane fan, hey, I'm a Canes fan. I want to go to the game. Maybe not sit in the front friggin' row or close enough to where they can get a really tight shot of you.
When the camera comes around and points at you,
sit down,
or turn around. Or
two things can be true at the same time.
There's a lot of things. This is silly to think that she's just some innocent poor thing sitting at the game, and all of a sudden her face gets blasted up, and then people are like, "Oh, porn star." Well, first of all, you were a porn star. Second of all,
like Mia Khalifa. Do you know who that is? She was the former.
She was the one that I talked about her one time on the air too, because I didn't know who she was. And I think that the story I heard about her ended up being total bunk anyway, because the story that I initially heard about that lady was she had done like 4 or 5 movies and it ruined her life. She was like a college kid that got duped into it. Well, then I shared that story and some people were like, dude, she's done like hundreds of movies. I was like, oh, okay. She's out of not the innocent little bystander that got taken advantage of that I was thinking.
Yeah, she's out of the business now doing, she made money, got out. And
I don't know who this Bella Danger. I didn't know who this chick was.
Probably not a real name. Just guessing.
Just guessing that she was.
Just guessing.
I'm sorry that I'm not trying to be on my high horse game. I promise. This is not me being on high horse. You're in a public space. You're a beautiful woman,
famous in a niche,
famous in society. There's this idea of like,
I don't think she's
the camera.
The way you framed it.
The camera's there. You see the camera gets set up, guys. The guy's there. He zooms in on you. You see it. You see that he's going to be. You're still watching the game. Ask Bill Blank. Ask Bill Blank how often he knows when he's on camera. You know what he'll tell you? Every time.
All the time. Now, I think you framed it a little bit differently the way I interpret it. I don't think she's playing poor me. I just think she said, I didn't want to be a distraction. I don't want, and that's fine. But you do have to know when you go to a public stadium and you're in the crowd and people know who you are. I mean, the camera people sure as hell know who she is. If she's been on multiple times at Miami games, which means you're right, she doesn't have to go to the game. But if you're going to games on a regular basis, that shows you're a fan, right? Yeah. But hey, don't get really good seats.
Man, am I thinking of the wrong? Because I look at some of the guys on the thing. They're like, hey, beautiful is a stretch. One of the guys says she's mid. Am I missing something? Is this the girl I'm thinking of?
Which one? This Bella Danger?
I don't even want to Google her, but we're gonna.
I mean, that cracks me up. She's not beautiful. Well, she's a performer, okay?
A Bella
Danger.
Oh, I mean, now that I see that,
but beauty is in it by high. There's going to be some people who think you're hot.
When she was, I didn't know who she was when she popped up. I thought, oh, they're showing a cute Miami fan, just like they did with Musburger when AJ McCarron's girlfriend.
Yeah,
what was her name? Man, she's got a name. It's not AJ McCarron's girlfriend. Yeah, when he oogled over her, right, and it was like, oh man. What did Musburger do? She was like,
Catherine Webb. Catherine Webb.
Do you remember Musburger? Like, oh, look at her.
And all Musburger did was be like every other guy they were showing, right? You're like, oh.
So anyway, funny. This is a funny story to me. I just imagine how many guys across America had to do the thing of like.
Apparently, she's a student still.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I wish I could be any other student supporting my team. Well, you're not any other student. When you do what you do for a living, you're not just another student.
I do feel like when you put it that way about, she should absolutely be able to go to games. I just think that it is the camera. It doesn't happen instantly. We've all seen that. You've all been a part of that, or maybe you have, or you've seen it. The camera gets set up, the producer's in the room, they see her get zoomed in on, and then they go, okay, let's go and fade to 7, go. And the little red light pops up. Not her first time in front of camera.
No, not at all. But you know what? She can hate it all she wants. She can feel bad, but she's probably one of the most Googled people in America right now.
I just fell for it.
Yep. It's going to be good for her bank account.
I love this principal. Look at this. One of our many female listeners, Principal Tierney, writes in, after this, can we talk WNBA?
Ross is Kim, and I haven't heard from Kim in a while. Big UNI fan, big volleyball fan. She's a UNI grad. I believe she played volleyball at UNI. Daughter's going to Iowa. She's got to wear the Hawkeye gear.
Oh,
now.
wow.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go, Kim. You Hawkeye, you. One thing that we haven't talked about today, and I thought you'd be a little passionate about it because you are the resident baseball nerd. Hall of Fame announcements made yesterday. Carlos Beltran, Andruw Jones, your Hall of Famers. God,
Yeah.
this doesn't knock my socks off, right? I mean, now it's like,
okay.
I mean, and maybe it's an age thing. You know, when guys got in Hall of Famer when I was young, let's say my teens into 20s, those were your legends, right? Maybe I didn't appreciate Carlos Beltran enough. Maybe I didn't appreciate Andruw Jones enough.
You didn't. And what I thought you were going to say, when you said, just doesn't knock my socks off. What I thought you were going to say is, this is just a reminder of how old we're getting.
Well, some truth to that too.
That was my first thought, was like Andruw Jones and Carlos Beltran. I remember them as rookies. I remember Carlos Beltran with the Royals.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ask me, well, they retired last year, right? Because the years go so fast.
So it is, that was the first thing. But does it knock my socks off? I mean, yeah, these guys are definitely Hall of Famers. Andruw Jones was amazing. Carlos Beltran had a great career. The Hall of Fame is just not. Travis, so let's go back. I think the thing of what you were saying about like the legends thing, there are kids that Beltran and Andruw Jones are legends. But I bet we have people listening to this show right now. Oh, great day, baby. Love you. Okay. Record, have fun. I bet there are people listening right now that Andruw Jones was their favorite player, that Andruw Jones was that kind of George Brett type of superstar in their mind. He was amazing. And Beltran, may have some Royal fans that, there's a few Astro fans in town, all that. Where else did Beltran play? He moved around a lot. Played with the Mets. Anyway. These guys do knock my socks off is a hard way to say it. Because the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame has fallen so far from what it seemed to be.
Do you think it would change if they would get rid of their pettiness and let Clemens, Bonds, A-Rod got 40% of the vote yesterday, Manny Ramirez, if you had those guys in there, would it bring back, and you can put in there, hey, they were part of a scandal.
Right.
but they were really good. But they were really good players. I think that's what it is. There's common sense people who aren't going to die on the hill of, well, you use PEDs, you're out. Pete Rose. People were pissed that he bet on games. Yes. Was Pete Rose a hell of a player? 100%. And you go,
never understood how they can't just put that as part of the plaque.
Yeah.
I can't say Pete Rose had more hits than anybody. I think he scored more runs than anybody. I mean, you can say some of the most key metrics in the game, this guy was the best ever. And then he screwed it all up by gambling on baseball and had to be banned from the game. Why can't they say that? Why can't you say, with Barry Bonds, greatest home run hitter of all time, suspected of steroid use during a steroid era? Carlos Beltran, should his plaque say
he was tapping on trash cans?
By the way, included in the Astros scandal of 20, what was that year?
I even forget. Probably farther back than I actually realized.
I want to think, right? Right. How about this I think I saw this about Andruw Jones. And I don't have the article up in front of me anymore, Trav, because I pulled up Carlos Beltran's baseball reference to see how many teams he played for. I believe they said Andruw Jones is of all the players to ever get into the Hall of Fame, he had the lowest percentage of first ballot votes. The first year he was on the ballot, Andruw Jones received 7% of the votes.
And he got up to 75?
And he got up to 75%. I'm a big Andruw Jones fan. I like him a lot.
And that's fine. Was fun. I think the real conversation is, can we just get guys who really dominate the game into the Hall of Fame?
So here's the Carlos Beltran conversation. Man, I would have thought he was with St. Louis for more than 2 years. Mets for 7, Royals for 7, Yankees for 3, Cardinals for 2, Astros for 2. He played a year with the Rangers and a year with the Giants. What does he go in as, a Met or a Royal? 7 years with each one of those teams.
Probably a Met. Or did he win? Was he on the Royals World Series winning team?
No.
No.
He was gone way before then. Justin, when I say Carlos Beltran, do you think Met, Royal?
Met. Okay. I think Met.
Well, did the players get to? He played for the Royals before you were born.
Do the players get to pick?
Yeah, I believe so. In baseball, I believe the players pick how that.
Is there one where they don't? Like, I mean, I guess football, they're not putting the helmet on you.
That'd be great.
That would be awesome.
Even
that
on the coaches,
totally awesome.
It was 2017, by the way, for the trash can.
Wow, 2017 they were
World
banging
Series
on trash cans.
2017. I think I saw someone commented as well, but
wow.
I mean, if we're keeping all cheaters out, that would be a way. I mean, you were part of it, and I'm not advocating for that. It's just I'm advocating for Bonds to be in, Clemens to be in. I mean, the fact that Barry Bonds is in the Hall of Fame is just
ridiculous. Roger Clemens. I mean, like some of the most famous and some of the greatest of all time. It's ridiculous, but
like it just makes it a joke.
Well, Sosa and McGuire, who single-handedly saved the game of baseball with their home run battle back in the 90s, coming off a strike year. How do we get people involved in the game? Let's have a home run derby.
So I don't know what the right answer is. And I don't know how you move on from it, because now at this point it's not like if you put those guys in next year, we're stopping the show to talk about Hall of Fame ballots, right? Which used to be the case when the Hall of Fame ballot came out. It was like, oh, we can have this conversation about all these different guys. Now we get the announcement and we're like, doesn't move the needle.
Do any of the Hall of Fame?
Right. What's that?
Do any of the Hall of Fame move the needle?
No. Does the Heisman Trophy presentation do it for you anymore?
No.
Opening ceremonies of the Olympics were a big deal when I was a kid. I remember that
Still
was
are for my fan.
That was a bucket list thing for me at one point in time. In my life, I thought, I'm going to get to an opening ceremonies of an Olympics. This is such cool pageantry. And now it's appalling.
But if one of your team's players are getting announced or mentioned, that does raise interest, because like you guys were talking about Joshua Jefferson. Did you know right now he's the third highest, like most projected to win the Wooden Award?
No kidding.
Really?
12.
Wow.
100. AJ Debanta from BYU is number 2, and then Cameron Boozer from Duke is number 1.
Wow, that's very cool. He should. I mean, he's deserving of that.
That moves the needle. When otherwise, you'll be like, oh yeah, that guy won the Wooden Award. But I remember getting really into seeing the projections when when Doug McDermott was in the running for it.
Yeah,
and ended up winning it.
Were you gearing up to correct us with the Miami of Ohio?
So fast. Like, you guys were going, and I was like, oh, Ross is going to save the day, when Ross is like, you said 2, right, Trav? And then he still said 2. I was like, Miami of Ohio, baby.
I didn't even look down that far. Do you know what, when you look at the ESPN's power index, where they are?
No, I don't know where they're at.
I
just know they're they finally broke into the top 25.
Yeah, and it's like it's a courtesy ranking. If you ever want to see a courtesy ranking, there's a courtesy ranking.
Hey, as a Bulldog fan, I mean, it took them forever to get ranked when they won 21 straight or whatever it was in 2020 or 2021.
All right, Nebraska has moved up from 50th to 20th. And you have to hit the show more. My gosh, you got to go to the second page. You got to go down quite a ways. They're down there with Colorado. I remember I saw they're like 100th. Miami of Ohio is like 100th in the power rankings.
Meaning
power index.
That if they don't win the MAC, they may not get in. Right? If you don't, it's like, well, let's look at all the metrics.
So Drake in 21, they didn't win the Valley, and they had to go to Dayton to beat Wichita State first to
do
get
the play-in game.
Yeah, through the play-in
game. It's not a play-in game. Yeah. Did you Google while you were waiting a Bell of Danger? Did you Google a Bell of Danger?
Didn't need to, and also the guys' group chat was on fire Monday.
Really? As soon as it happened?
Soon as she popped up, everybody, the guys, and Megan was sitting right there. I was like, Megan, you want to hear something funny?
She's funny.
Like, yes.
That's funny.
So what you're saying is your buddies watch porn is what I hear you saying.
Like breaking news? What?
Yeah. Alarms. 20-year-old dudes.
Yeah, right. Ken Palm, by the way, I just pulled this up, has Miami of Ohio 20-0, 90th in Ken Palm. Nebraska is 12th. Iowa at 20, Iowa State at 5 in Ken Palm.
Fun show today. Iowa State looked good. Iowa got a nice win. Tomorrow, Bruno's going to be joining us. Make sure to tune in and listen to Bruno.
Predictions. What are we talking about tomorrow with Drake and you and I? 2-0?
Good battle with Drake, but 1-1.
Have fun at the game. Okay. It's a 6 o'clock game, so you're going to get an early start tonight, Justin. You're going to get home at time.
I know. It'd be nice.
Hey, I saw a picture on Facebook with your girlfriend with a pregnant person next to her. Be careful. These things are contagious.
Sister. It's contagious. Oh, we've had friends that are having kids. It's already dangerous.
There it is.
Getting married.
Have a great Wednesday, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City. We can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City. All this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Take their breath away with a diamond you can trust. Rare and forever natural diamonds. Thoughtfully selected and pre-screened using advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together. Our experienced team is here to help you create something truly meaningful. And let's not forget about the guys. We proudly offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Drive into 2026 in style with a brand new Cadillac from Willis Cadillac. We have a large selection of EVs, and you can get 2.9% APR to 60 months on Optic, Lyric, and Vistic. And for eligible Costco members, you can get up to $1,250 in incentives on select Optic, Lyric, and Vistic. We have up to $2,000 in bonus cash for owners of qualifying non-Cadillac vehicles. Stop into our showroom or check us out online at williscadillac.com.
Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.